From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 for Tuesday, June 7th. Rain and storm coverage is set to become more spotty for our Tuesday with hit and miss showers and storms. Slightly cooler today as well, with highs rising into the upper 70s. Cleanup begins this morning in Cass County from storm damage that happened last night. The county's emergency management agency says parts of the Royal Center area flooded. Officials posted some photos of the damage on social media. You can find them if you'd like to see them. Logansport Municipal Utilities reported power outages just before 10 last night. It now shows that all power is restored. Indiana is experiencing the largest gas price increase in the country over the last month. That's according to the newest data from Gas Buddy, with prices averaging more than $5 a gallon. Indiana has an average of $5.20 a gallon right now. In Indianapolis, gas is $5.21, Bloomington $5.19. The cheapest we found is in Elkhart with an average of $4.77. Gary is seeing some of the most expensive at $5.53. According to Gas Buddy, more than a third of the state's counties have an average fuel price of over $5. And one Purdue research economist says there are two reasons behind the surge. He says the state having only 2 oil refineries increases the price of gas. He also points to the state's high tax rate.
We have a tax rate of around 69 cents per gallon, which is among top 10 in U.S.
And we've made it easy for you to find the cheapest gas near you. Just go to wishtv.com and you'll find a map. It shows you all of the prices in your area. Just got to type in your zip code. Leaders in Indianapolis are asking for more money to repair and build roads. Mayor Joe Hogsett wants the City-County Council to approve $10 million for long-term fixes. If approved, officials say the money would be put to use right away. Each council district would receive a portion of the funds. The city says pavement deterioration data is helping identify the streets in the most need. The mayor announced the proposal to reporters at one of those locations, 10th Street and Pleasant Run Parkway South Drive.
The plain fact is, Indianapolis residents are tired of seeing roadways like this one. Thanks to the creative funding sources, like the one we are announcing today, they won't have to see them much longer.
Hogsett and Indianapolis DPW are also seeking an additional $3 million for the design of future roadway projects. And to IT Mate, where a new development in Boone County is creating quite the controversy. Recently, Eli Lilly and Company announced it was planning to build on the state's 5,000 to 7,000 acre commercial site planned for north of Lebanon. Marty Pickens is just one of 50 property owners who are now being asked to sell their land to the state for this development. He says that he knew the I-65 corridor would bring new development right up to his doorstep, and he says he doesn't think there's anything he can do to stop it. Lebanon Mayor Matt Gentry says the development is really just getting off the ground. He says there's no groundbreaking ceremony even planned for any time soon. And documents obtained by IT Mate shed light on the days leading up to the killing of a 29-year-old Indianapolis mother. As we've reported, police arrested Kyle Rigdon on Friday, accusing him of hitting his ex-girlfriend with his car while she was riding her bike. It happened on South Rural Street around 11 in the morning, and Kayla Bowling was able to give a partial plate number before she died. What we've learned since is from new documents. We've learned that Bowling's father had told police Rigdon had been stalking and harassing Bowling, even slashing her car tires in the days before her death. Then, on the day of the incident, Rigdon's boss says that Rigdon told him he'd hurt his girlfriend and asked him to lie about how early he'd gotten to work.
That information was crucial in making the arrest for all the people that did come forward with information, that did speak to our detectives and did tell them what they saw that day.
A memorial to remember Bowling has been set up next to the scene where she was found. And today is the first court appearance for a woman accused of intentionally running her boyfriend over in a parking lot, killing him. It happened in the early morning hours last Friday. Since then, we've gathered some new details from court documents. Police report that Galen Morris used an Apple AirTag to track down Andre Smith to the bar on East 82nd Street. Investigators say Morris found her boyfriend at the bar with another woman. The two fought, and Morris is now accused of following Smith out of the door, then hitting him with her car. Investigators say she then backed over him, then pulled forward and hit him again. Morris is facing murder charges. Students will soon be able to get a free copy of Slaughterhouse-5 from the Kurt Vonnegut Museum. Officials say the free giveaway is in response to a ban of the book by a Florida school. The Florida school was able to ban Vonnegut's novel because of a new Florida law. The law makes it easier for parents or groups to challenge books or instructional materials they don't approve of. Florida has the third largest number of schools banning the books. Kountry Kitchen is breaking ground on its new digs. A fire destroyed the original restaurant more than 2 years ago. The owners have since been operating out of a temporary spot with limited options. Now, Kountry Kitchen will be a new restaurant and event center at 19th and College Avenue, just like it never left, but it'll look a lot different. The co-owner says the new facility will have a rooftop and outside dining with an event center attached. And Kountry Kitchen received a $400,000 grant by Insight Development to make this happen. The restaurant caught fire in January of 2020 while management was preparing to remodel the space and expand into hosting events. No one was inside or hurt. The groundbreaking ceremony for the new Kountry Kitchen is at 11:30 this morning. Federal prosecutors obtained an email that shows the Trump administration directed a group of Georgia Republicans to meet in secret and obscure their objectives. The email was sent on December 13th of 2020 by Robert Sinners, Trump's Election Day operations lead in Georgia. In it, Sinners writes, "Your duties are imperative to ensure the end result, a win in Georgia for President Trump, but will be hampered unless we have complete secrecy and discretion." The email is part of the Justice Department's investigation into Trump's efforts to overturn the election results in several swing states. The former Proud Boys leader is facing charges of seditious conspiracy for his role in the January 6th attack on the Capitol. Enrique Tarrio and 4 other leaders in the Proud Boys organization have now been charged. The charges are the most aggressive yet by the Justice Department against the organization. More than 36 people are charged in the riots have now been identified as Proud Boys members by federal authorities. Survivors of the mass shootings in Buffalo and Uvalde are going before Congress. Testimony is scheduled at tomorrow's House Oversight Committee hearing. The committee chair says the hearing will address what some lawmakers consider a need for legislation to combat gun violence in the country. A 4th grader from Robb Elementary and a mother whose daughter was killed in the Uvalde shooting are on the witness list. The mother of a victim in the Buffalo grocery store shooting is also scheduled to testify. A survivor of the Buffalo shooting is requesting that the shooter's parents also testify under oath. The pre-disclosure document was filed in the Erie County Supreme Court last Thursday. It requires the parents of the 18-year-old preserve all evidence, devices, documents, and electronics used by their son. It also requests the parents file depositions no later than July 29th. The 18-year-old has been charged with 25 counts, including domestic act of terrorism motivated by hate. He's pleaded not guilty. Comedian Dave Chappelle is donating all of the proceeds from a recent show in Buffalo to the families of the victims. He performed Sunday night before a sold-out show at Shea's Performing Arts Center, and according to the venue, there are more than 3,000 seats there. In 2022 is on track to see a record number of mass shootings in the country. As of Sunday, the Gun Violence Archive counted at least 247 mass shootings. That is one more than at this time last year. The archive started tracking mass shootings in 2014. It's labeled a mass case when at least 4 people are shot. If shot themselves, the shooter is not included in that number. In 2020, mass shootings jumped by almost 200 incidents to 610. There were 82 more than that in 2021. This year, mass shootings have resulted in more than 1,300 people shot, including 278 deaths. More than a dozen people were killed and more than 70 injured, and at least 13 cases this past weekend alone. New York's governor has signed a new group of bills to tighten gun laws in the state. The state's legislature passed 10 measures last week in the wake of Uvalde and Buffalo. The changes include raising the minimum age to buy a semi-automatic rifle to 21, banning civilians from buying bullet-resistant vests unless their jobs require them, and expanding the red flag list of people who can file for extreme risk protection orders. That allows courts to temporarily seize guns from people believed to be a danger to themselves or others. The governor said there's still more to do and called the new measures a start. Today, the FDA considers a new version of a COVID-19 vaccine. Advisors are meeting to consider a shot by Novavax. An FDA review found the vaccine's efficacy was just over 90% against mild, moderate, or severe COVID-19 cases for 2.5 months. The vaccine would be given in 2 doses 3 weeks apart. The FDA is discussing if the vaccine's benefits outweigh its risks for use in people 18 and older. Pfizer says it's investing $120 million into support for its antiviral COVID treatment. The company says it's funneling money into its Michigan manufacturing facility for the creation of Paxlovid. It says the funds will expand the production of the active ingredient and starting materials. The money will also bring an additional 250 jobs to the Kalamazoo site. Pfizer says the production of Paxlovid requires a significant amount of manufacturing capacity from start to finish. Elon Musk is threatening to walk away from his deal to buy Twitter. He says he still has not received data on fake accounts that he requested last month. Musk says that's a breach of the merger deal. Twitter says bots and fake accounts make up less than 5% of its users. But Musk has said without evidence that it could be as high as 20%. If Musk bails on the deal, he could be on the hook for a $1 billion fee. A judge is ruling actor Kevin Spacey must stand trial in federal court on a civil suit accusing him of sexual abuse. U.S. District Judge Lewis Kaplan issued the order yesterday, saying there is a genuine issue of material fact as to whether Spacey engaged in sexual activities with actor Anthony Rapp. The judge ruled Rapp can pursue claims of battery and intentional infliction of emotional distress, but not assault. The trial for the lawsuit is expected to begin in New York on October 4th. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway. Online at wishtv.com and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update on demand for even more on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.